58,000 Americans were killed in the Vietnam War. In 2018 alone, over 67,000 were killed by drug overdoses.
Are you okay though? You're not overdosing or nothing, are you?
Fentanyl and meth, I've watched people overdose taking one hit.
How did a toxic mix of the war on drugs and a profit-driven medical system get us to a place where overdoses now kill more Americans than gunshots or road accidents?
OxyContin, a small and powerful pain pill.
When OxyContin got FDA approval in 1995, it was the first oxycodone drug to come in a time-released formula.
Pharmaceutical companies began sending sales reps across the US and Canada, aggressively marketing much stronger opioid pain medication to doctors. The market leaders in this, though by no means the only ones at it, were Purdue Pharma, pushing their shiny new pill, OxyContin. Between 1997 and 2002, prescriptions for OxyContin increased from 670,000 to 6.2 million. Millions of people who'd become dependent on these medicines were suddenly cut off by their doctors. And this is where the true opioid crisis really begins. Those addicted patients didn't just stop needing the drugs because their prescriptions ran out. So millions of them turned to the black market and started buying heroin.
This chart from the CDC gives us a clearer picture of events. Drug-related deaths involving commonly prescribed opioids like hydrocodone and oxycodone did rise in the first decade of the 21st century, but then leveled off. For the first 10 years, the increase in overdoses correlated with increases in legal prescriptions. But those prescriptions fell after 2010, with no reduction in overdoses. What we did see in 2010 was an increase in illegal heroin use, and in 2013, an even sharper rise in overdoses from fentanyl and other synthetic opioids rarely used in legal medicine. During this period, fentanyl, which is more potent than heroin, became increasingly common as a heroin booster and substitute. If heroin were legal, most of these overdose deaths probably would not have occurred.
The chemicals are made in China, shipped to Mexico, where the chemicals are synthesized into fentanyl, and from Mexico shipped to the United States. That's largely where it comes from.
The drugs are getting deadlier. 6 out of 10 pills now contain 2.4 milligrams of fentanyl. The problem? Just 2 milligrams can kill the average person.
The only explanation for that can be that the cartels are trying to make the substance more addictive. They're trying to create more customers, and in the process, they're bringing more death to Americans.
While deaths across all groups showed record numbers, some populations were hit harder than others. Compared to 2019, the number in white Americans increased by 22%. American Indian and Alaska Native rates rose by 39%. And in 2020, Black American deaths increased by a whopping 44%.
We're really seeing it's communities of color that are bearing the brunt of this crisis now.
Startling new numbers on the opioid epidemic in the Carolinas to tell you about. Charlotte police showing the numbers on the rise, especially in the African American community.
This group isn't used to being in situations with the prospect of an overdose.
Black people now die of overdoses more than twice as often as white people. Indigenous people, more than 8 times as often.
How many of those do you end up taking a day?
Too many to count. I don't know.
Some, like Xavier, whom we met while out with the WDC team, have homes outside the downtown core, but return here as they continue to struggle with addiction.
People are not feeling compassionate towards those that are marginalized or that are experiencing overdose or substance use disorder.
That urge to dehumanize drug users, to punish rather than support them, no matter the consequences, has defined the drug war since its very beginning. And there's perhaps no clearer illustration of this than the debates around naloxone.
President Donald Trump has been working to follow through with his campaign promises, including ending America's fentanyl crisis.
Today, I'm here to announce additional steps that we're taking as part of our nationwide initiative to address the opioid crisis and, by the way, the drug crisis, the general drug crisis.
Despite that, his administration is looking to cut a $56 million grant that teaches first responders how to use the life-saving overdose reversal drug naloxone, known commonly as Narcan.
The Trump administration could end a $56 million annual grant program that distributes Narcan to first responders all across the country.
Why would we take the one thing that we know for sure is working away?
Narcan is designed to rapidly reverse the effects of a life-threatening opioid emergency.
I'd be dead if it wasn't for Narcan.
If there wasn't Narcan available, I wouldn't be here.
And not only, like, would I not be here, but my mother would be without a son.
If we don't have this important tool, not only are we not saving lives, but that means we cannot connect somebody onto recovery.
Being able to widely distribute Narcan to the community is really about enabling anyone who's using, and that can include, teenagers or adults in very well-off communities to stay alive.
The CDC says Washington had the highest increase in drug overdose deaths in the nation last year, and with the majority of those deaths happening in King County and Western Washington. Rice says a new approach to saving lives is desperately needed.